So,
I am here to play.
welcome back to Evrand number 71. First off, I did want to say a big thank you to our sponsor for this month, really, and this stream specifically, is Hero Forge. I know you guys can't really see this, but this is one of the awesome new Kickstarter Hero Forge 2.0 color minis. This is 3D printed in color. Like what you see is how it comes out of the 3D printer. It's a special proprietary technology. You can choose. Oh, it didn't take us off host mode, huh? Oh, it should have just now. Refresh that. Anyway.
Hi, Aaron.
Like I was saying, it'll be there for the recording. So here, like you can see here, this one particularly has the epic bases. It's got a fox little figurine. It's got weapon effects on it, so like fire coming off of the weapons. It's all sorts of cool stuff. There's all sorts of different color schemes and patterns, and if you check out all of our social media, I put out a couple things that I built in the Hero Forge 2.0 beta version of it that you can build the characters. It's very cool. Kickstarter is still going on, probably for another, at this point, probably 48 to 50 hours or so. You can back it now. If you do, I think you can get a color printed mini for around $40, which I don't know what it's going to be once it becomes publicly available to everyone. It will also get you access to the color Kickstarter early. I believe you'll have access in May, so that will be something that you'll be able to do on your own in your own home. They're going to do all sorts of cool things like a portrait maker that zooms it in to get like bust shots of characters, so you can use them possibly for like on-screen overlays. They're going to have a token maker as well, so if you do things like Roll20 where you want a top-down token. And they are, I think, at $2.6 million generated currently. I would love it if it could get to, I think it's 3.4, which is they add a weapon forge option where you can actually craft the weapons that you want characters to wield by taking pieces of different weapons and combining them together to make completely unique weapons. So like if you wanted to take
Swiss Army. Okay.
Well, if you wanted to take like this sword and flip them around and stick them back together to have like a dual-bladed sword, you could do that. Or like the hilt off this sword, the blade off this sword, the pommel off this axe, whatever, you could do that. But they're going to have all sorts of cool stuff like tattoos and battle damage and like things you can put on people's faces and stuff. Very cool. Anyway, thank you, Hero Forge. So, let's talk about what happened last time in this game. So, the party managed to defeat a Nihilith Aboleth in its lair, and they made their way back to Carrickfern to talk to the Queen and introduce second Rick, other Rick, Rick 2, whatever you want. Rick the Black, if you will, because we now have our Rick the White. And he basically, no one's really sure who's the clone. Someone's definitely a clone. There's a gap in memories for each of them, and the other one has those missing memories. So Rick the Black decided that he would go back to his wife because he missed her and remembered her.
Weird.
And continue sort of living the Von Brick lifestyle as that Rick. Our Rick the White, decided that he was going to go back to Crag McNuckles and talk to him about getting some armor upgrades and things like that. So he did. He got a thermal, basically an infravision thermal visor added to his armor, a harpoon that launches and can retract as part of his armor as well. And he incorporated Ulrich Dawnhammer, his old adventuring ally's helmet, this platinum dragon kind of helmet, into his armor as well, which has provided several boons to Rick, one of which is a 19 intelligence, which drastically altered the role-playing of Rick in the last session. Also, Oz came clean to the party about his scenario with Smokey Joe and the Thieves Guild that he's a part of, that he needs to break into the highest security vault of all of the dwarven people to steal the manual that still tells you how to make Warforged. For those of you who don't know, Warforged in my world, we're basically the equivalent of a Terminator, right? The dwarves started out making them to help them do tasks that they couldn't do over time. They made them smarter and stronger and better overall, to the point where they became self-aware and self-thinking, and then started to rebel, and then that caused a whole inner destruction war of the dwarves, which decimated the dwarven people overall before they got into the war that they're currently in. They've had a rough time of it, the dwarves. But as is with all types of creators and things like that, well, yes, it probably would have been a good idea to destroy the manual that teaches you how to do that. Maybe it could be of use at some point, so we better lock it away. The Thieves Guild know about it. Oz negged on an important deal and then disappeared off the face of the earth. They found him and said, well, guess what? You still owe us a job. We got the job for you. We heard you had a friend that's a dwarf. Why don't you see if you can't leverage that? So he came clean to the party, and that's more or less where we ended up. Rick came up with a plan to head into the vaults to document that there are 2 Ricks now, in hopes to get some eyes on the different mechanisms of the vaults, so that maybe they can go in with some more intelligence. Better, which is none, is what they have right now. So, I don't think I missed anything else, right? That was pretty much it.
That's everything. Sounds about right.
Yes, the adamantine spider, as the party has dubbed Rick the White.
Yeah.
He's a good friend with Crag McNuckle of McNuckle Industries, which is a thing that he started touting about, that his new armor manufacturing business, he's labeled McNuckle Industries.
Dangerous. Dangerous but fun.
So, you guys, so I guess it was, I think, the end of the day, and the next day you guys were going to head to go into the vault to document things, correct?
Yeah. We were supposed to meet with Lusoff at 8, and these guys were all coming as my witnesses, because she's a notary public.
She is, yes.
People to watch and decide.
Yes. So, you guys, oh man, thank you, Ash, for gifting all those subs. That's awesome.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
So, is there anything you guys want to do specifically before you meet Bibliosoft at 8?
A nice breakfast.
Okay. Well, you're the leader. Or actually, we don't know. Who's the leader?
Oh, yeah, who's the leader today?
For those of you who don't know, the party came to the decision they would roll a d4 to determine who the leader is every day, because that won't end poorly.
There's no way that'll end poorly.
That would be great.
I would like to summon Owl.
Okay, you summon Owl.
That's it.
Everybody for themselves today. We're going to need all hands on deck.
Wait, is that you abdicating your power for the day?
It is.
Alright, I am now the leader.
No, but not of me. No.
All of you have given up leadership on one or another day. I have never been rolled leader. I'm the leader.
Just this one.
What do you mean, just this
There's
once?
been a bunch of days you were the leader. They were just unimportant days when we were traveling.
We can
Yeah.
call you.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Well, Jake's right, but I don't know what to say.
Look, I understand this whole leadership thing. It's important. So if, just like I was the leader for my recent adventures, then I think that this is important time for you to be the leader. But I am going to cook breakfast.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Actually, now that we're talking about it, Rick, I'm going to be such a fucking hypocrite. But I think you should probably be leader today because we're going into a dwarven vault. Dwarven customs are going to be kind of the prevailing...
I thought we made... Sorry.
As
I thought
leader,
we
I
made
agree with that.
later, until, like, while we were here and doing dwarf things.
Not
I
doing
thought we-
one thing anymore. No, we're doing.
We're still doing dwarf things. I think you should be the leader today, Rick. And then when we actually do the heist, I think you should be the leader.
I appreciate that, Wildfire. And if we ever need to set things on fire for a day, I think you should be the leader.
Yeah,
We
we
all-
need a bonfire.
We all have our strengths. All right. Cool. Breakfast?
Breakfast!
All right. What's for breakfast today?
We are having, we are going to have French toast.
Ooh.
Which no one knows why they call it French toast, but they do. And I made a nice raspberry cream cheese filling to go around.
Nice.
This is a great breakfast.
Nom, 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 nom.
Well, I wasn't expecting heavy adventuring today, so I thought something delicious.
Yeah, no, I fully support it.
I appreciate it.
There aren't many days where we're not walking for a lot of hours, so you
It's the
consider
majority of it.
Yeah, all right,
It's a
cool.
good day.
Bam, bam, let's go.
Alright.
And as we walk over there, I'm gonna be like, so, Rick. How much do the other dwarves know about us? Like, not us, but like me specifically.
I don't know. You've been here with me pretty much all the time.
Okay, so like,
I've also.
they don't know what I used to do.
I didn't even know what you used to do until you just talked about it.
Yeah, but they don't know. That's what I'm getting at.
I didn't tell them.
Okay, thanks. Cool. Whew.
Okay, cool. Wasn't like, this is my friend Oz. He's great for theft.
Hey, can I get you to roll me a d20 there, Jake?
10.
Wow. Okay. So as you're about to leave, or as you're leaving to head over to meet the Bibliosoph, your foot kicks like a rock. At least you thought it was a rock. And it turns out to be a strange egg.
Aha! This is unusual for the 6th or 5th time.
And it also resonates as you pick it up. And they all begin to resonate simultaneously. But at it's now that they're together, they seem to be resonating with a sort of it was almost audible, as though it's resonating a certain pitch.
Mm-hmm.
And each one is a different pitch.
Okay. Is it?
It's not necessarily. It's not like you don't get the feel. It's not. Well, you're not really a musically inclined person, Rick. Although you are intelligent.
Yeah.
It's not like a very clear octave. Like it starts low and goes high if you arrange them all. It seems to be a specific set of, for lack of a better term, notes.
Okay.
And that's what you're able to determine.
This is interesting. Unfortunately, if we don't leave now, we're going to be late.
Cool.
And Sean also got a trinket.
Woo!
It makes Sean reroll the character. I'm just kidding.
8.
Okay. Let's see. You already got the Book of Ill-Gotten Gains.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So you also find a sheath, which is weird because you just made that really cool one.
Yeah.
So this one, it's weird. It's designed. It looks like it's designed for a dagger.
Okay.
But what's crazy is your daggers are like this long, and this particular sheath, even though it looks like it would seat the dagger perfect, is like this long.
Okay.
And it's got a slight curve to it, has a gold cap on the end. And this particular sheath makes the people you kill not fall until you sheathe the blade in it.
That's
sick.
awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's mine.
But the blade has to be in that sheath and drawn from that sheath and then the kill, like, you know what I
Okay,
mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, you can't, like, draw it from that, and then, like, oh, let me stab it in the thing to make the poison, and then do the stabbing.
Yeah, okay.
Once it's in there, the magic of the sheath is invalidated.
All right. We'll take it.
Is it like the dramatic anime?
Oh, it looks like a katana sheath for sure. So, like, when you make everything would happen as normal in a fight, but that person won't fall, which, again, has positives and negatives.
Yeah.
In a combat scenario, if you kill someone and don't sheath it, they are not falling until you do so. So they're gonna keep being there, fighting till you do it. Something to consider.
Suddenly fall in half.
Yeah, correct. But you got to make sure. So again, in a combat scenario, it poses problems because sheathing and unsheathing a dagger is like you can do one for free, but the other one takes like an action.
Mhm.
So like if you stab someone, you got to put it away, but then you got to take an action to take it back out.
Ooh, I noticed the way you worded the belt of magical daggers that
Correct.
it's part of the attack taken
Correct.
out.
So
I could do that.
but
as
that
a
wouldn't
component. It would
benefit.
be a different
Correct.
thing. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Whew. I'm going to put the warp blade in that sheath.
I figured. And Celine, can you roll me d12, please?
Oh, sure.
Sorry, it's that we're on Trinket Central for us as the start here, folks. So
And I'll roll it.
Hey.
no, sorry, Pat. Okay, so you find whatever's going on. You don't know where these things are coming from. Perhaps Hank from the other timeline found Rick somehow and has sent a bevy of gifts. You find a wand. It is a metal wand. And it is a cylindrical metal wand, about this long. But unlike most wands, where typically, you have a wand and it's like this, right?
Yeah.
You hold the wand. So the cylinder comes like this, but it actually has like a wooden handle on the end of the wand. So it's almost like a pistol grip handle on this wand.
Oh.
So like you're holding the handle and the wand is like this. Yeah.
Does it do anything?
Do you use it?
Not right this second.
Not right this second, but I pocket it for later.
Is it magic?
Oh yeah, is it magic?
No, it's not magic. It's basically in such a way that like it can be used as a spellcasting focus.
Okay.
So like magic can be channeled through it. It in itself is not magic. And you can go ahead and roll as well there.
Oh,
Patrick.
look at that.
I think they felt bad for you. Thanks, Sean.
No
What was
problem.
it?
For you, it'll be let's go with a D8 or D10. D10.
That's a 2.
Okay. You find a jar of glow in the dark oil
Ooh.
that you can put on your weapons so your attacks look cooler.
Also, you can't see in the dark. So, like, you can put it on your weapon so you can see your weapon in the dark.
Yeah.
That's true.
Probably not getting a lot of ambient light off of that, but you know where your weapon was.
Or in the dark, I could just throw it at people, maybe. And then, and then
Only
it's
one
on
way to
them,
find out.
And they glow in the
Tap.
dark.
I'm imagining Wave like sparkler style, like drawing his name and stuff.
I'm thinking like,
It was a
like
rave.
a rave. Doing like cool flips and stuff.
We can throw him on like all of Rick's spikes.
Ah! Glow in the dark porcupine.
All right. So now that happens, you guys make your way over to meet the Bibliosoph, and Jake takes his headphones off. Biblio headphones off.
Oh, good one, Ted.
Yeah, thanks, Sean.
I completely missed it.
Yeah, we
Try that
know.
again. Be funny. Naturally.
That was a gift that just happened.
Yup.
So anyway, you make your way to the Bibliosoph.
Okay. Good morning.
She says, good morning.
All right. I brought my favorite pen, and I pull out my favorite pen.
Is it the
So
greatest
I think
pen?
I'm ready to get this done.
Is it the greatest pen?
No,
Okay.
that's not how things work anymore.
Well, listen, I don't know. All right. Okay, so she says, well, you're going to have to follow me, and we'll make our way over to the vault, and then your witnesses are all here and in order, and we'll get going. And I've already arranged for the other folks to meet us there, so we should be good.
All right, fantastic. You know when the vault was designed? I mean, it's been around for so long.
It's been around for, I don't know. I mean, it might be where we're going. There might be a history of it. If we're already there, they could probably arrange for us to do a little looking around while we're already there. I'll see. We'll see what everybody else's day is like.
Yeah, yes. If we could schedule something in, that would be fantastic. Otherwise, we'll just have to do a little extracurricular learning.
Yeah. I agree. It sounds like more paperwork, and that's great.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes you just really gotta dive right in.
Oh, he's gonna die.
I feel the same way about combat as I do paperwork.
I greatly enjoy this change in your intellect, Rick. I find it quite amusing and entertaining.
Good.
And I feel like I haven't spoken to anyone recently who has this, who just gets it on an intellectual
Oh,
level.
he's gonna kill me.
No, I do appreciate being able to really hold a conversation, or at least half of one, before I could only converse with myself and wave.
You're doing great, Rick.
Are you whispering that to me, or just like...
No, I'm just casually whispering it to you.
Okay, fair enough.
She just looks at you because you're not being subtle. I know.
I don't think we're trying to be.
I know.
Are we near the vault now?
Yeah, you guys will have major way. So, like, you were presumably staying up with Crag kind of in where his workshop is, and you kind of make your way out into the city proper and past any of the kind of like major sculptures of any of the, the different regal sculptures in the middle, and you kind of make your way. It's tucked in on the lowest level, and you have to go through several long corridors to get there because it's tucked away in the middle of the city, deep kind of underneath it, and then you get into the actual levels of the vault. So you gotta, like, if you're going in, you're gonna be in there for a while, and like I said, the purpose of this is to make it hard to get stuff out of there if it's not warranted. So you guys make your way into the vault, and you guys find yourself at kind of the first door. And it is a massive double stone door. And this, for all intents and purposes, is level 0. Because you're not into the vault yet. This is level 0 outside of it. And there are several heavily armed and armored dwarven guards on either side. And they see you guys all approaching. And you'll see there's another dwarf who... You're not sure who it is who's kind of standing there at the ready as well and has a key in one hand and several black bags in the other hand.
How many guards?
Currently here 2. One on either side of the door, plus the person here.
Okay, cool. What does Leo self do?
She goes up to the gentleman with the key, and she produces some documents, some scrolls, and they kind of sit there, and he goes over them and checks things. He kind of pulls out like a little magnifying glass as he's searching through everything, make sure everything's good. And then he says, all right, everything seems to be in order. Let's get ourselves in. And he says, well, you know the deal. And he comes over and he puts a black hood over each of you. So you can't see what's going on.
Is Owl still here?
Are you going to be bringing your owl into the vault?
I would have him with me. I wouldn't have left him behind.
Right.
I'm not trying to surreptitious. I have an owl on my shoulder.
Yes, I understand.
Oh, well, because I have my verb.
Right. Well, I mean, did you bring Gorm too? I don't know what this is.
Yeah,
You're just bringing like a whole...
I mean, I don't have my hellhound out.
I mean,
Nibbles
that's-
is in here.
Nibbles is there, and he's invisible.
Uh-huh. All right.
He's the perfect guy,
For now.
as far as rats go. He's the
Right.
perfect rat.
Okay, so,
kind of hard over the horns. Huh?
yeah, they will tell you that if you want to bring your pets inside, you can, but for security purposes, they will also need to be bagged.
Oh, it's a magical familiar. I'll just snap my fingers.
Okay, so it goes away.
Oh, mine too.
Yep. And Gorm, I guess, is staying with Crag.
Yeah.
We'll say
sure.
for all intents and purposes. So that happens, and then he says, "All right." And you notice that for this, well, you don't notice it because you've got hoods. Or I guess you would notice that there was no hood. Didn't seem to go over the Bibliosoft's head going into this room.
Okay.
So he says, "All right, you'll follow me and stay close." And you hear he like sound of a key going into a lock, and then big stone doors open. And he says, "Everyone, wait right here. I just need to take care of a few things." And you hear footsteps going into a room, and you hear clicking as if something is being turned or tweaked or altered, and there are several kind of other loud clunking, clanking noises in the walls, kind of echoing off of the stone space. And this happens he does this maybe 3 or 4 times, and then he says, "All right, everything seems to be in order. Please follow me." And he says, "Just listen," and he'll usher you all along a path. From what you can tell under your feet, it is worked stone. You walk. Is anybody attempting to keep track of? Like, I know you guys all have hoods over your head, but are you trying to do, or are you just going along with it? What's the plan?
I'm gonna count paces in whatever direction we're going.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to make notes of like if we turn or like.
So for this, you are just going in a straight line,
Mm-hmm.
and it seems like you are going. You would guess about 60 feet
Okay.
before you are halted. And he says, "All right, well, we've made it here through the first layer of the vault." He says, and you hear him. He says, "This is it for me." And then someone else pipes up and says, "All right, well, yeah, I'll take you through to the next area as well." And you hear the other guy shuffling away.
Mm-hmm.
And
So-
he's, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt. So this is the first stage of the vault. I look around with my hood on, obviously. Like, what do they store in this first area as we hopefully move towards the second?
Jake, do you have the infrared on?
I turn the infrared on. That's a great idea. Definitely something smart Rick would pick up.
Yeah, you see through. I mean, it's an infrared mask, but you do have a black cloth over it, so things are a little muted. But you see the glowing heat signatures of all of your allies. You see Bibliosoft's heat signature, another dwarf, and you see as the other one is heading back the way he came.
As I just like kind of turn around, as I say, "What is this layer about?" I'm just gonna like kind of get like a general glance and see if there's any other heat sources.
In this particular room,
Yeah.
from what you can see, because you're not sure how wide the rooms are, this you don't see any other source of heat. You can tell through the sackcloth that's put over your head is dark, but you can tell that there is some form of light in here. But if it is within your vision of thermal vision, it's not generating heat.
Okay. Cool.
And the guy who's going to take you, or the girl who's going to take you to the next area, she says, "Oh, it's nothing important, nothing worth really worrying about in this room."
Fair enough.
And she says, "I'm sorry, Bibliosoft, but you know the rules." And you hear the sound of what sounds like a hood being placed over the
Everybody
Bibliosoft. And then she says, "All right, please follow me." And the door will open, and then we ushered into another room. And Rick, your sense of smell, your newly heightened sense of smell, is blaring in this room, as though this room is full of magic.
Does it smell similar? Can I detect what type of magic through smell yet, or not yet?
I think you haven't practiced with this ability enough. But it also, to your keen dwarven nose, smells of various types of metal as well.
Okay, fantastic.
So metal and magic in this room.
All right. Well, I can definitely smell those things. I want to. I want Rick to accidentally trip into Oz, and just like with his spikes, just like kind of like up into his head with my shoulder spikes.
Okay.
Get his hood.
Oh, I see.
Oh, be like, oh, sorry.
Ah! Shit!
Away.
Oh, you're trying to poke a hole in his hood? Is that what you're trying to do?
Yeah.
I'd like you to make a deception check.
All right.
I'm gonna bump into him while he's doing that.
You do know
don't do
that
that.
that is casting
Don't
a spell.
do that.
Oh, don't. No,
Do not
no.
cast the spell.
Nope, never mind.
All right. That's gonna be. Do I have deception? No, I don't.
No, you
This
don't.
is still terrible.
Yeah.
So that'll be a 16.
Okay, that's not too bad.
That's a lot better than.
I'm impressed with that. So the woman who's with you,
You got 3 charges.
you do have 3 charges.
Actually, before I use charges, can I use my inspiration card?
Sure. What is your card?
You gotta give it back though.
Yeah. What you?
Oh, that'd be cool.
I'm just gonna use it for inspiration.
Oh, okay.
Oh, perfect.
Wait, what?
Wow, it's the same one.
What's the plus on it?
It's a +1, I think.
No, the benefit at the bottom.
No, that's what I meant. The plus 1.
Oh.
Because like
Yeah.
you got a 16 on the roll. Is it worth it to try and roll higher than that, or just like see if the 1 helps?
All right, let's see if the 1 helps.
Was that another one that's his right there? What does that one do?
Yeah, learned. Gain a second attempt at a failed skill check.
Oh.
Wow. So you use the +1, and you you hear the footsteps stop, and there's like a moment of silence there.
Oz is gonna pipe in now
Uh-huh.
and be like, guys, I think there's a hole in the hood. We didn't mean to, can someone, I can fix it with magic. I don't know if you guys can fix it or if I need a new hood, but
I'm sorry, it's the new armor.
yeah, I just wanted to be upfront about this.
Is your head okay, Sugar Cube?
I mean, it hurts. I got a little stabbed in the head, but I do
Aw.
see.
Oh, jeez. I'm so sorry.
I know. It happens, bud, all the time.
Come on now.
But yeah, I can see a little stream of light out of the corner of my eye.
Okay. She will say, no problem, and you feel a second hood go over your existing hood.
Okay, cool. It's a little hard to breathe under the tube. Could I fix the? It's a quick spell. I could just fix the hole, if that's okay.
She will allow you to do so.
Okay.
And we'll watch.
I'm going to cast Mending. No deception. I'm just casting Mending, fixing the hood, and then
Take the second hood off.
yeah.
Okay. So she will take the second hood off of you. You guys wait there for a minute while this is casting.
Do, 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 do.
And she'll take the hood back.
Smells good in here.
And she's like, uh-huh. There's a degree of hesitation in her voice, perhaps as though she's heard tale of the new exploits of Rick and his, pseudo signature boots / slippers that allow him to stick to any surface. Maybe provide the ability to not trip so much. Who knows?
Oh, I didn't so much trip. I just bumped into him because I can't see.
See where we're going.
Fair enough. Well, either way. You continue on. You walk through. You're kind of. This one is a little. Again, it seems to be about 60 feet, but it's not a straight path. It's winding that you kind of go through. You kind of like S curves. Now you don't feel like there's no change in the stone or the height of the floor here. So it doesn't seem like that's. You get the feeling you may be meandering around things that are like in the room. And you do, as you, with your heightened sense of magical smell here, can tell that you're seeming to like be going around things that are magic. You make your way to the other door, the other side. And you hear, she says, don't worry, it'll be just a moment. And you hear the sound of a weapon leaving a sheath, and then a sound of metal striking stone, and then what sounds like something being inserted into stone. Kind of like a metal scraping stone, and then there's a pause, and then a click. And then she says, well, that's it for me.
Can I ask, did it sound like, did the sound of the sword coming out of the sheath, was that from where, was it coming from her?
It seems like it, yes.
Okay, cool.
And she says, all right, well, have fun. And you hear the sound of her walking away. And then there is another dwarven voice, and he says, all right, well, I guess it's my turn now, so follow me. And he will lead you into the next room. And this room also smells like magic.
Aha! I say out loud.
And he says, sorry, things are they've been interesting in here, so you're just gonna have to bear with me here. We're probably gonna have to go single file. Things are a little hectic in here. I know that's really annoying because you can't see what I'm telling you about, but you know what? They don't pay me enough to clean this stuff up. So anyway, follow me. And he kind of he'll be like, hang on, I got an idea. And he says, this will probably make it easier. I'm going to tie a rope around everybody, and I'll lead you that way. That way I don't have to come back and forth and trip over a whole bunch of stuff. So he comes back, and you feel him tie like a piece of silken rope around each of you in a line. And he says, all right, follow the leader. And he will lead you through. And this, like the last one, was generally heading in a straight line with slight meanders, right? Like kind of like you're maneuvering around maybe pillars or something in a room. This one, it's like all sorts of squirrely. Like you're going, you feel you're walking to the right, and then you kind of do like a corkscrew loop-de-loop and back to the left and back and all around. And then after maybe 10 minutes and of him's like, and you hear like a boot hit something metal, and you're like, no, we're going this way. Hang on. He kind of like backs you up, but this isn't really hard to do because you're all being tethered with a rope. So he's trying to back you all up to another area, and he eventually gets you to the location. And he says, all right, well, this is about it for me. So then you hear the sound of a sound that you know very well, Rick. A sound of a hammer striking an anvil.
All right.
And it's rhythmic. It seemingly is in a certain cadence. You don't know if he's just striking the anvil itself, and he strikes it in a specific order, which is 3, then a pause, then 2, then 7 very quickly right after one another.
Okay.
And then 5 kind of slow and methodic. And then you hear something as though a piece of metal falling off of the anvil and clanking to the floor. And then you hear him kind of grunt as he picks this thing up. And you hear him kind of like set it in place. And then there is a click. And he says, Well, that's it for me. See you later.
Alright, well, good luck.
He says, I'm going to come around and I'm going to untie this rope.
Thank
He
you.
comes around and he unties the rope.
So, I understand this might not seem like the smartest question in the world, but if you go back, when we come back, how do we get out?
He goes, I'm not at liberty to tell you that.
Oh, alright, well, sorry. Natural curiosity.
Understandable. And then he will leave. And then you will hear another kind of like high-pitched voice that's like, all right, well, it's on me now. Come on, through the next room. This one should be pretty quick, I think. All right, let's go. And he kind of will lead you in. And he said, just be careful where you step. Sometimes things shift out of place, and it's easy to trip. I'll do my best to make sure I'll sweep things out of the way so nobody trips over anything. We should be all right.
All right.
And you hear him with like basically what sounds like a broom, just like sweeping as you go, and you hear the sound of things sort of like rolling to the left and right as he's sweeping, but not all of them sound as though it's not all of them sound like a ball that's just like rolling like a circle. Some of them, whatever these things that are rolling, some of them seem to have edges, almost like if you're rolling like a die, it has a certain sound, a cadence as it bounces along the stone. And he's kind of sweeping back and forth. And this one is only about a 30-foot straight line.
Okay.
And then he says, well, that's going to pretty much do it for me. Oh, hang on one sec. And he reaches down, and you hear him kind of groaning as he's shuffling around. And then you hear the sound of 3 different things being placed into like a socket, like a sk and like a click, and then a sk and a click, and then sk and another click. And he says, well, that'll pretty much do it for me. I think you guys are pretty much at your destination now, so you should be all set. And he says, well, Biblios off, and you hear him the sound of removing a hood. And he says, all right, well, it's all you. And the door will open. And she says, all right, well, follow me. And she will lead you guys into the next room. The door will shut behind you. And she will come around and take the hoods off of each of you.
So this is the 5th layer, correct?
Correct.
How's the door shut? Does it just close?
It is closed before your hood is removed.
Does it click?
There's a closing, and it's a stone door, so it shuts.
So,
yep.
It just reverberates a little.
Mm-hmm. And in this room, you all, she takes the hoods off, and she looks around and she says, was that right there all the time? Pointing at Nibble so you can all very clearly see. You also feel none of your magic is working in this room.
Oh no!
Shit! I totally forgot about Nibbles.
He's
Yeah.
invisible more often than not. So
I mean-
we forget about him sometimes. He's very quiet.
I've been teaching him how to read.
And she's like, well, I do appreciate intelligence and reading, but, well.
Man, what kind of stone is this?
So, yeah, you guys there are candles lit in here. And they are in a very protected, like the candles are they're almost like lanterns in that they're encased in glass to keep things safe. And the temperature in here is like very tepid and preserved. Like this is a very pristine situation, and there are several different stacks and tomes of scrolls and books and all sorts of things. A lot of them are under like glass cases that have like a key. You need to open it up to lift open the case to get to the book. And, she's like, well, we just need to figure out where your family lineage is, and we'll be able to get this all squared away.
Fantastic.
I just please be careful. There's a
Do
lot
we
of
have like a decimal system or what?
Yes, I'll be able to find it. I'll just have to go look at the card catalog real quick. She'll walk over to
fantastic.
a large catalog of cards that she will pull drawers out, looking for. She originally is like, oh, it's Von Brick, and she'll go to the V's instead to find it under the family lineage section of the card catalog. And then this is basically like a mini library of just stacks and rows, and there are things that are on pedestals and things again under lock and key. But it is just a ton. This is like at least 100 feet wide, and maybe double that long of just dwarven lineage.
Because I was gonna say, like, is there any way to see the next door?
I mean, it's because of the way the stacks are, you can't see it without.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm assuming
currently
you
you guys are you have to be witnesses, right?
Yeah.
So you have to be there when the
Yeah.
signature is made. But other than that, you may be able to try and do some sneaking around.
The vast repository of knowledge.
Wow.
There's a lot here.
So wait, this is all the dwarf families?
I mean, that's just this section over here.
Oh wow.
We've got all sorts of things from recipes to armor crafting to all sorts of different things.
Wow.
Recipes? Is it like food recipes?
Oh,
And
no.
alcohol recipes.
Because long ago when we first began adventuring together, we found a mural underneath after we were attacked by the Kuatoa, and from that mural we were actually able to get some hearth mead, which was fantastic. I wonder if they had any of those sorts of recipes here.
We might be able to put in a request to take a look for that. I don't think that would be too out of place. I could probably manage that easily enough.
That would be fantastic.
Can't promise it'll turn up anything, but if you've had it, then you might be able to take that knowledge and take things a step further. There's a whole catalog over there, and she'll point to another section of just like unfinished things. These were armor that were almost done, or weapons that were in the process of crafting, and the smith died before they were able to finish it. So there's a ton of different things where people never got to finish that. Obviously, it hasn't really been a priority to look into any of that stuff as we've been in the midst of war after war after war, but it's something we might be able to look into in the future once things begin to calm down.
Yeah, it is.
So she will
Very interesting.
take some time and lead you guys along stacks back and forth. V, VA, VI. You eventually make your way to the VO section, and you find the Von Brick family tome, and it's a big honking book that she will bring over to like a table, and it'll sit down on there, and she will kind of she'll pull a key out from like a ring of keys on her neck, and she'll unlock the latch, and the little leather strip will fall back, and she'll flip through, and you'll see as soon as she opens the book, she'll put on like white cotton gloves and begin to flip through the pages to find where the current timeline is, to get up to where Rick is in there, because you'll see where it has Rick or Cedric Von Brick, and then you'll see it'll have Savannah, and then it'll have a list of various children, although there's like little asterisks next to Savannah and all the kids' names that state that they are not dwarven by blood. And I'll just have like a little footnote for that. And then she says, well, here it is. Now, how do I want to do this? And she sits there for a little bit thinking about how best to put a second Rick in there, because you technically have the same parental lineage, but you also don't, possibly.
Right. Yes, that is an unusual conundrum that we've got conundering here. But if we just treated it like twins?
Oh, yeah, I guess that might work. Yeah, probably. All right, so she'll put like a dot. She'll put like
Basically all.
a line to the left. Like, so the line to the right has like Savannah and then the kids. And she'll put like a line to the left, and she'll make another box for Cedric Von Brick next to the other line for Cedric Von Brick. She asks again, you had mentioned it before, but she will double check that this is an opportunity where you could choose, if you so wanted, there will be additional paperwork to finalize everything, but to change your name.
Which you love, Rick. You do love paperwork.
I do. I've been a big fan of paperwork for several days now.
Yeah, almost a day and a half.
Quite a passion.
Yeah. So, do you guys have any suggestions for names?
Rick.
I mean, you could just be Rick.
Yeah, Rick.
Uncle the Brick.
No.
Oh, the other one's Uncle the Brick.
Other guy's definitely Uncle the Brick.
No,
He's
you're
Rick.
right. You're right. He Rick.
I feel like if we were to travel with someone like really like younger, like I don't know, someone teenage years, they might call him Uncle the Brick, and it would be like more realistic. Like various teenage years day to day, so like it doesn't. It does.
Why don't you call yourself Patrick Von Brick? Because then you can still be
It
Rick.
sounds like a dumb name. I think. No, I think I'll leave it as Cedric as. That's rude. That's what I think of myself as.
No, that makes sense.
Her.
So it's hard to identify something else. Fantastic. So when I just sign here.
Yeah, she'll have she'll make sure that everything is dry, the ink is all dried on the page, and then she'll, as far as like the family tree goes, and then she'll flip kind of towards the back of the book where there's kind of a list of alterations and changes based on things, and you'll see where there's times where people did decide they wanted to change their given name or something like that. They would make the kind of documentation of that here so that it's, if it was changed back in the original lineage line, it would be, this is what they were, this is what their new name is. So they will go in and they'll say, she'll start to write, she'll be like, So is it a clone? Is that what we're going with? He's a clone? He's a twin? What do you want the official documentation to be as for why there is two Ricks? We treated it sort of like twins in the actual family tree. What would you like the reason for the addition to be listed as?
Adventuring mishap.
Oh.
Because I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
So,
I feel like it's the most accurate.
All right, well then. Cedric Von Brick. Additional. A reason for alteration, adventuring mishap.
Alright. Seems exactly correct.
All right, and then she'll put like an X with a line for where you sign.
Aha!
You have your pen.
I sign. I'm under that to myself.
Okay.
Because currently Rick's not smart.
That's true.
Because the intelligence is gone.
Oh, yeah.
The magic in here is working. I've been pretending to be smart this whole time.
He's so good. Jake pretending to be Rick, dumb Rick pretending to be smart Rick.
Yep.
Exactly.
It's a lot of layers here.
Yeah. It's like
So I'll sign it there.
All right, and she says, and she'll put she'll write in, witnesses, and she'll put lines for the three of you all to sign your names as well as witnesses.
I would like to state that Oz's signature is very pretty and calligraphic.
Calligraphic.
Calligraphic? Is that a word?
I don't know.
Like, is
Calligraphy?
reminiscent, is an
Implies
adjective of...
Calligraphy-esque.
Yeah.
Employs the use of calligraphy.
Yes. Very nice.
Okay.
I like it. I believe it.
You guys sign as well, I assume. All right, and then she will pull out you.
Yes.
Okay? All right, she'll pull out.
Wildfire just puts her thumb on it.
Just
So
scorches.
little-
Look at that.
Yeah. She will pull out her stamp,
And just...
her notary public stamp, and she will stamp it. And then she'll just observe the work briefly, let it sit there. She'll kind of blow on the ink a little bit, make sure it dries, and then she'll test it with her white cotton glove to make sure it doesn't come off.
Bibliosoph, while you're waiting for that to dry, are we allowed to look at the cases, look what kind of books are around?
She says, "Yeah, you'd be more than able to look at anything before you go and take anything out of its place."
Oh, no.
Oh, I don't want to touch anything. I just want to kind of
Yeah, by all means.
In case there's anything we want to take a look at while we're here.
Yeah.
Not like today, but put in the paperwork for.
Good. All right, I can respect that.
Yeah, I'm gonna wander around and specifically see if I see the book I'm looking for. We're in a room full of books.
Ah, yes. Yeah, the Warforged.
Yeah, that one.
All right,
I
you can
will
make
also
me an investigation check.
I like divide and conquer because it's a big room.
I will distractedly assault.
Yeah, you will.
You
I'm
try.
gonna use a lucky.
I will try.
Work that spiky charm.
Alright.
It's hanging out.
Yeah, not causing any trouble.
I got a 17 on my investigation check.
I got a 14.
Okay, so you guys both look around. You'll see. There's, again, this is more like you're not gonna find too much. Like this isn't a library. This is more of a repository of important dwarven paperwork. So, like, if you were looking for like the history of that war, that would be contained in the library. So
Okay.
this is more like operating procedures and, again, official documents, recipes, instruction manual type things.
That's what kind of made me think maybe the instruction manual or the tome.
Yeah, and you look around, you do not see anything like that.
Okay.
While I'm wandering around, I want to try to like pass by the end of the room to see like if I can like see what the door looks like.
Okay.
Like, because like at all the other ones we stopped at have had noises and steps, so I want to see if there's anything visually unusual about those doors.
Cool.
Make me a perception check.
I'm gonna look for vault construction.
Okay. Sure. Investigation check, Pat.
Inspiration. Alright.
You do have 2 charges. No, 4 charges.
I feel like this might be a silly thing to waste a charge on though.
Oh,
Or it
Yeah.
might be clutch if
It's
you
true.
find out something.
Try again. I'm not gonna
Nine.
use this.
You're in a
Try
vault.
this one.
It's well constructed.
15.
You're looking around trying to see if you kind of see like through some of the stacks from where you're at without driving too far off, kind of where you think the door is, and you can see carved in the door it looks like there are runes. You don't know what the runes say from this distance, and it looks like in front of the door is a pedestal with a book on it.
Okay. Okay.
Alright.
Yeah, so anyway, you were fighting the nihilist, but before that there was like, he had a whole like a cabinet full of books, so interesting stuff that I wish I had thought of it at the time, because it seemed like something you would have been very interested in. But a lot of cool stuff there.
At this point, I'll come back.
Yeah, I was like, I would be back at this point.
Yeah, this is an awesome wealth of knowledge.
Oh, that's the whole point. That's why I'm
Yeah.
in charge of it, because I find it vastly interesting.
Kind of like, out of curiosity, those unfinished projects, if someone wanted to finish one of them, like, do they submit paperwork or something like that? This is just,
Right.
no, I'm not a crafter, but I'm just, we'd have to figure out what exactly that person was trying to finish and what the reason why now and what the reason was for. And then also we'd do like an interview based on what the project that was being worked on was to see if the person involved would be qualified to do it. Right? Like, let's say you're really good at sewing and it's an armor crafting situation. Well, you're really good at sewing, but that doesn't qualify you to make armor. Yeah, that makes sense. And just kind of for my own personal, is there ever a time where, like, let's say it's a smith and he's like, I want to finish this armor, and you guys get together and you're like, he's not ready for this. Is that also kind of
that
part
does
of it?
happen? Yeah.
Make sure that like they don't hurt themselves or anything,
Right. Or
or destroy someone else's life's work.
Yes, exactly. I mean, sometimes it happens where, if it is something that someone's working on with a specific piece of ore that was found, maybe we only have a limited stock of it, or there is only one, right? Like if it's some sort of star metal scenario where you don't find those too often and someone has it and they're like, I have this perfect plan to make a really great axe out of this, and then they die before they get to finish it. well, it's like, well, there's only one piece that's really kind of already been loosely formed into an axe head. We're not gonna let I don't know, you
try and finish it.
Sure, yeah, of course, because you'd have to prove that we'd have to look at your like a history of what works you've completed to see like, is that stuff still holding up to the test of time?
Yeah.
Did it fail you at any given point?
I didn't even think of that.
So I mean, if it,
Yeah, that makes sense. Longevity.
I mean, that's mostly what this whole room is about.
That's awesome. I mean, that's kind of the one thing. Like, don't get me wrong, halflings are great, but there's no like camaraderie. There's no like yay halfling stuff. We're just all like, sup, brah.
Right. I mean,
There's a lot of yay dwarf stuff here.
Well, it's also, we've been around for a long time, and unfortunately, we found ourselves in a lot of turmoil and conflict, and nothing brings people closer together than having a shared enemy.
That actually makes a lot of sense. All right. Cool. Rick, if you're good here.
Yeah, I believe that I have completed all of necessary business to be considered legally alive.
Okay, yeah, let's I guess let's head back.
All right, well, we will do that. Unfortunately, I think we're gonna have to take some further. We may need to have some additional conversations regarding your rat friend who's now here, who's visible, who's apparently smart enough to be able to learn how to read.
Yes, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about. I was thinking about that while we were here. Last time I was here, I was asking about arcane magic, and it seems like that's not a huge thing here. But I know that if you have certain powerful arcane casters, they can modify memory. So that's something that we could look into. I don't know if anyone here does that, though. I know a high enough level wizard to do it, but he's my dad, so that sounds like super nepotism-y for me to suggest that. But I mean, that's the kind of the solution that I wanted to put forth. And like, if Nibbles has to stay with you, as long as it's cool with him until that happens, then we're definitely okay with that. Like,
Right. No, let me think on this a little bit while we're here before we head out of here. I'll just see. I'm not sure, but I do believe there is someone, or at least a few folks that are, I'd consider them to be slightly less than reputable. They may have the ability to do, they do exactly what you're suggesting, but it's powered by the divine.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, we can do that. That's actually a good point. So I'll have to, we'll make arrangements to bring your associate to visit one of them, and that should be good.
All right. Do you wanna take him from here and bring him back to? Sorry.
What?
That's something we would need to file the appropriate paperwork for.
Oh yes, there'd be plenty of paperwork. Your friend would have to stay with us under custody to make sure that, again, if he's smart enough to read, he's probably smart enough to see what he most likely just saw through 4 other rooms.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
So, all right. Well,
and if there's any financial compensation from us, I mean that was completely my bad at the beginning of this. And Nibbles just kind of stays here quietly, so.
Yep. No worries at all. All right. So stand by, and she will come around and put hoods over each of you again.
Isn't Nibbles telepathic?
Yes.
Yes.
Is that magic?
Right now, telepathically.
Telepathy?
Yeah, I guess before we leave the room, I can be like, I can try in my brain, like, Nibbles, you talk? Like, do you hear me? Is this magic?
I have to think about it, whether or not it's magic. Because, see, when we had this exact same conversation about Evil Game, Jake said telepathy is magic, so it doesn't work.
Okay.
Because...
that's in the Forgotten Realms, not Everett.
Yeah. It's funny how the tables have turned.
Would Nibbles have said anything when he was discovered and, like, visible and...
Oh, yeah, he can talk.
Accused of...
But could he speak to us in the other rooms? Or, like, when we just get outside the gate? Could you, like, try to talk to him then?
So out of the game. My idea for this whole thing was to erase no suspicions at all and just get recon.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm bending over backwards to be like,
Because we're like every second that we're trying to connive, we're raising suspicion. So I'm trying to put those at ease so they're not suspicious when we get back.
Yeah.
So right
You should have
now,
specified that for the several seconds you were the leader.
yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't think to tell you guys that I thought it was obvious. So
You're working with Dumbrick right now.
it's true.
So.
So that's kind of that's why I'm not trying to get info out of Nibbles, because I don't want there to be any kind of
Yeah.
suspicion
Alright.
drawn on us now.
Fair.
Okay.
But like also, Nibbles, can you talk to me right now?
I have to. Do you have Nibbles thing?
I do.
Let me see Nibbles real quick. Telepathy, 120 feet. You know, I don't know. So I'm gonna have to think on that for a second.
While we take a coffee break?
Yeah. So what happens before you guys? Well, you guys are going to leave, so we'll get you guys out, and then I'll make the decision on break whether or not he's able to speak to you. But once the hood goes up, you make your way back to from your orientation you had to the door that you came in.
Mm-hmm.
And that door is open somehow from the inside. And you guys make your way out, and you kind of, your smell returns to you, all of your magic returns to you. And then about the second that it returns to you, you guys all feel this like tugging behind your belly button as you are kind of pulled through a space, and then you're all of a sudden back outside the front door, and the hoods are removed from all of you. You see yourself back out by the dwarves where you were.
That was weird.
So, with that, Internet, we're going to take a short coffee break while I think about how telepathy works, if this is indeed considered magical or not. And we will be right back. All right. Hi, Internet, we're back. So I read in the monster manual under the section called telepathy, where it specifically states that telepathy is a magical ability. When it's referenced by monsters, it is a magical ability.
Okay.
Alright.
So it did not work.
Okay.
Then I leave it at that.
Okay. So you guys have been bamfed outside of the vault. And she says, well, that all the documentation is taken care of, and she kind of like signs out with the guy who kind of, at the front there. And she says, well, we'll have to take your associate Nibbles here to meet with Jorik, and then we should be all squared away.
All right. Should we come with, or would you prefer us to go back to Crag and you can bring Nibbles to us when it's done?
That works out probably for the best.
Okay.
You're smart again, too, don't forget.
Yes.
All right. Here's Nibbles. Be good, buddy.
And he's like, okay.
So agreeable.
All right, so you guys leave, and she will head off to find somebody named Jorik.
All right. Guys, we are so fucked.
Yeah.
I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die, guys. Guys, no one's gonna talk me down. No one's gonna help. No one's gonna help.
Someone.
What? I'm going to die. This is how I die. We found it. We found the way out, guys. He lost his voice for a second. Now he's back. It was a little too deep. And there he is. I'm gonna die. This is how I die.
Could you talk to
We
your?
found how. We
Could you
found
talk to
it. This is
your
it.
buddies?
It's going. Oh, sorry. What?
What were you saying, Ember?
Well, I was gonna say, could you talk to your thief buddies and be like, "This is literally impossible. Can you give me another job to prove myself?"
I can say those words to them. Yes. It will accomplish nothing.
Well, you try to persuade them. I don't
No.
know how, but
I mean, at that point, they would probably just kill me.
yeah, that's fair.
You know that just from the nature of the way things were, like this was probably a job that was just like on the shelf as like if we get around to it.
Mhm.
Like this is a pretty difficult task and probably no one's ever going to be able to do it. The payout will be amazing, but it's probably not going to happen. So this was likely something that's been reserved for like, well, somebody done fucked up. Let's give them a job that's will really stick it to them. And like, you know, they come out, if they win, then everybody's happy. But if they die, well, we weren't expecting it to happen anyway, and we get what we want, and, you know, maybe we cause a little turmoil in the process.
This is basically what you could call a execution with an upside. Cause,
Yeah, lose.
Because either, for them, it's a win-win. Because either I die and that's cool, or I get the thing and that's cool. It is absolutely a lose-lose for me.
Could you
And they kill you anyway.
go to somebody or an organization and say, "Hey, man, like this is going on. Could you help me?"
The guy from the organization is the one who's making me do this.
Not your organization, another one.
I mean, I'll still die because I signed the magical contract.
It's magic.
So like we could.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is we either
Let's
we
go find
do
a
this
deck of many
heist, which is
Where's that
hard.
document?
They
you know
have.
what I heard about?
Could we steal that document? Because
I
that
traveled.
sounds like it
I heard
might
about
be
this
easier.
item called
Maybe.
the Deck of Many Things.
Oh, what does it do?
Cards in the Deck of Many Things let you completely change one. It lets you eliminate one action from the realm.
No, that's insane. That would never happen.
Yeah, actually, I agree with Wave on this one. That sounds ridiculous.
No. This is
Anything's
definitely
possible.
the thing that I 100% learned about, or at some
That
point
would definitely not flood the reality.
remember vividly.
Do you have one?
I mean, booyah, but
Do I have one?
Yeah. Oh.
No, you don't.
No.
Okay.
Can we get one?
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you know where one is?
Make me a history check, Rick.
Yes.
that's a +3.
Oh, okay. So that will make it a 16.
Well, you know that the Deck of Many Things is a very powerful magical artifact. So, places where the Deck of Many Things could exist.
The vault we just
Yup.
left.
The vault you just left.
Uh-huh.
A dragon horde.
Uh-huh.
A very shady criminal organization's treasury, or, you know, a black market, a very, a powerful or, well-connected black market, or a very powerful wizard's tower.
Uh-huh.
You know of one such powerful wizard's tower,
I know of one such dragon.
and you know of one such dragon.
And I also would like to maybe throw out complete total random happenstance as a means that could come across that.
That's a good point.
That was in a black market. So,
Fair. I had
All right,
forgotten.
so I will convey that to you guys.
Okay.
Who knows what kind of far-reaching consequences something like that can have.
So we could go and try and destroy the document / find a deck of many things that would destroy the document.
I mean, these are avenues that we could, I guess, look into. But I still don't. I mean, I signed the document I signed, if I remember correctly, was like, you will steal this thing. Sign here, and if I don't, I will die. So even I don't know if what.
So why don't we wait until you're very old and then try to steal it? Because you're gonna die soon anyway.
Well, I mean, mostly because
it's not gonna die
I'm
soon.
not gonna die very soon.
No, I'm saying wait until you're really old to try to steal the thing. Why don't we just leave and go live our merry lives? And then, because it doesn't say when you have to steal it, it just says you will steal it. So, like, live until you're old, and then try to steal it, and then you're probably gonna die soon anyway, so, like, it's not that big a deal.
I've got a second
No.
idea.
No to that.
I have a secondary better idea.
I'm trying to throw out creative solutions.
That's fair, and I
Alright.
appreciate it, but I am politely declining that creative solution.
Fair.
What's your idea,
It wasn't
Rick?
good.
My idea is we go to Queen Fireforge.
Yeah.
We say, hey,
This is what's going on.
thief group is trying to steal things. If Oz doesn't try to steal it, then he's gonna get murdered why don't we very publicly have you arrested for trying to steal it, thrown to the dungeon, and then we'll just disguise you until we're out of the city and just undo with a disguise. Can you disguise yourself? Just still.
I cast disguise self.
But like, would you magically die because of the contract?
Around people. So be very publicly, you're arrested and thrown in jail for life in the dwarven prison system.
But the death contract doesn't say I will try to steal it.
I will steal
It says I will steal it.
I feel like
but if they think he's in
And even
jail
if we
for-
tell Queen
like, just
Andy
like,
and
fine.
she gets it for us, or he goes in, he's still not technically stealing it because they know about it. It would then be a gift. So I don't really see a way out
I think that was the point.
of this.
That
So
there was no way out.
to follow
So deck of many things.
follow that up, based on this, you would know, and realistically, as you said, it's a lose-lose for you and a win-win for them.
Yep.
So if you die in the course of pursuing this, then the contract is null and void because you have died. So therefore, the death part of the contract has been completed.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's
So-
potential option 1 that you have. You
It's
could die.
mission bon voyage.
Wait. So once he dies, the contract is over?
wait,
Pull that down.
wait. Let's
Revivify.
let's let Ted finish.
Continue.
So,
Sorry.
right. So, were you to die in the course of pursuing this thing,
Mm-hmm.
like you try to steal it and you die, because the contract says you have to steal it,
Yeah.
or you die.
Mm.
So, like, if you just die, maybe that gets you out of it,
I'm not willing to risk it.
but
But it
that
has to-
could possibly lead to consequences for other people that you know to pay up your debt.
Okay.
But if you're trying to steal it and you die, well, at least he tried.
Mhm.
And, now we maybe, we'll probably just put that one back on the shelf till the next idiot fucks up. So that's an option that you have. Pat's option, potentially an option 2, were you to find the contract, where the contract is housed, obtain and destroy the contract, you are obviously absolved from the contract. What further consequences you have from the fact that you broke into a thieves guild and destroyed a binding magical contract probably was easily traceable to you, because it has the most, you're the only one who has interest from that.
If we pursued that avenue,
All the contracts.
Oh no, what I was gonna say is if we pursue that avenue, I think our best bet is to wipe out the dim.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if that's our move, because if not, they're just gonna follow us around and kill us until we die.
Until we did.
So I mean, it is a relatively small thieves guild, as far as they go, but they probably have dealings with other thieves. Like wiping out the dim, I feel like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, because like Oz would know this.
Yeah.
Wiping out the dim would cause financial problems for other thieves
Yes.
guilds in the area, so then we're going to make enemies there. So
Unless you could provide them the amount of either work or recompense that they were getting from
Yes.
them in some other way.
yeah, so
As long as they don't, if they see a dip in their cash flow, then
we've made more enemies.
We do have a ring of never-ending jams.
okay,
Is it enough,
for
for a
what?
whole
Let's-
thieves guild?
Well, I was gonna say if we had to take something out and people need to get paid off, it's like, here's the thing so your money doesn't go
okay.
away.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's a trade-off of perpetual gems.
Like that.
Never-ending money.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
these are all ideas.
there's a deck of many things option. Obviously, if you're gonna resort to that level, there are other means of gaining magical wishes,
Mhm.
right? There are certain creatures that can grant wishes. There are certain powerful entities that one can enter into a pact with to get out of things or have something happen. Sometimes those have worse consequences than the previous one,
Mhm.
but that's an option you have too.
Mm.
Little
You
dip
know.
into a warlock never hurt anybody.
You could take out a contract with certain entities who could definitely be down to help someone for seemingly no consequences at the moment. You could try to find a genie and make some wishes. Try to find a very high level spellcaster who can cast the wish spell and is willing to risk the chance that they're never able to ever cast it ever again for you for some reason.
Odds is charming.
Maybe you find a way to craft a scroll of wish or find a scroll of wish to bring to a wizard to have them cast it. Maybe a cleric with nothing better to do and wants to try to risk the divine intervention of their god to help you out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah.
Brother Drainer would do that.
He's not.
He can't even do that yet.
He's not there.
He's like level 4.
Well, it was nice knowing you, bud.
Thanks, I appreciate that. Ember, your faith is
Personally,
appreciated.
in my experience, our greatest successes have been when we face a problem head on. Not necessarily like with me and the Islet. I think that the underhanded dealings, the way that this guild has clearly screwed you over
Yeah.
multiple ways, I feel like it's time to push back against that because the way they're dealing with you is completely unacceptable. And to be quite honest, I'm angry about it. All right, I'm feeling pretty mad, and I want to take this anger, funnel it at these fuckers. And they should be able to do this. They should be able to make blood contracts.
Yeah, turns out criminal organizations not good guys.
No, I don't.
Who would have thought
You know,
it?
I had heard that there was honor among thieves, but it seems that's just
Based on the story, you would know that in theory, Oz broke that honor first by negging on a deal and not owning up to it, and then disappearing.
Yes. That is my friend.
I understand that. I'm just telling you, your argument for honor among thieves is void.
Yeah.
We can try and tell Andy and see if she can help us come up with an idea, but
Oh, no.
alright, I don't know.
No. Because
Alright.
I feel like in that scenario, like she has her people to put
I
first. So I feel like
know.
in that scenario, I'm going to end up in jail anyway.
Alright.
Like, I don't know Andy as well as you do, but if I was in her shoes and someone was like, well, I gotta steal this thing from you, I'd been like, all right, well, you're in jail forever, so problem solved.
You also get the feeling that if you were thrown in jail forever, that the Thieves Guild would probably just let you rot there,
Yeah.
because that's a fate worse than death.
Either that or the contract would kill because I didn't steal the contract. Or, sorry, I didn't steal the book, so the contract would kill me. But the one thing I did say, we don't have to come up with a plan right this second. I did say to my guild that I needed a forgery, a replacement. I'm not going to just steal it so they know it's gone. So when I first got the job from Smokey Joe, I was like, cool, but I need to know what this thing looks like so I can make a forgery so I can put something else there. So until I get that,
This can be tabled.
this can be tabled. So if you guys want to...
I was thinking if we come across it and somehow successfully get through the vault that we aren't going to successfully get through probably, what we could do in order to safeguard the dwarves is, and I know this sounds a little risky as far as trusting another person outside of our small group of friends, but if we get Crag McNuckles, him being the most intelligent dwarf and probably the most able creator of magical armor, she's just a hop skip away from, a Warforged itself. He might be able to find a way to slightly alter the manual in a way that was convincing to make them fail without showing that it was us that altered them.
You know what? I'm open to that suggestion. I
That
don't...
would be a later thing.
Yeah, but no, I'm on board. I mean, I had considered cooking up some contact poison and coating the most important page with it, so whoever tried to use it would get sick and die.
There you go. I still have my sovereign blue. So I was thinking,
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's shut. You deliver the book, you can't unglue it.
Would a death ward stop you?
What stop me from what?
If the contract was like, I'm gonna kill you, and then you're like, well, I have a death ward, then
Because
you have that voodoo doll.
I don't know. I doubt it.
Great.
But
Death ward drops you to when you would go to 0, you go to 1 instead.
Uh,
So you don't go to 0. And when you go to 0, you don't die.
Mm.
yeah.
So you're just unconscious.
No.
Mm.
I think it would skip that and go straight to death.
So yeah, I mean, like we could all keep brainstorming, and honestly, if we can't figure out a way to get me out of it, then we just tell Queen Andy, tell her to destroy it, because there are thieves coming for it.
Mm.
Honestly, she probably should have already.
Yeah, it's really dumb that you guys kept it.
I wasn't part of that decision, but I even at any point would have thought that was a bad idea.
Yeah, I get it, but no. So, cool. While we table this, what do you guys want to do in the meantime?
I think probably at this point it seems important to start tracking down the Azer
Okay.
Yeah, probably.
or whatever Wave wants to do.
Yeah, wait, what's going on in your life lately?
How you doing, bud?
Yeah, man.
Doing alright. Can't complain.
All right.
The camera's behind you.
Must be fucking nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that
It's
one.
it's this one.
Is that? Oh, it's that
Yeah,
one.
I saw what he was doing.
Yeah, I
it's
know,
Just
I
getting
know.
to there. Just,
So I've Twitch up so I can see everything that does. Just about 7 seconds later.
oh,
So you're good.
I'm good. Yeah.
All right. You know what I was thinking about? Like, we've been going on all these crazy adventures, doing all these crazy things. And Wave, your journey's been pretty smooth sailing.
It's been pretty remarkable.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
nothing really bad's happened to you. Like, we went back to Gowager and we chilled. We did the thing that you like, the fucking festival.
Oh, it was a
And-
great time.
Sure. Sure.
Amazing, man.
Sure. So, like, yeah, it's been a pretty smooth reign for you. So that's awesome. You got Gorm. You got a little friend. Look at you. Having a great
go,
adventure.
Yep.
Must be fucking nice.
Must be
Go
fucking nice.
Go on.
Oh, we did lose his horse that one time. That was bad.
Did he still
Tried to get the horse from there, from the horse town.
No, because Brina wasn't there to
He
give
didn't
him
have
money.
enough money
Brita wasn't
for
there
it.
to give
Yeah.
Still didn't.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the biggest disappointment Wave has had is not having enough money to buy the horse he wanted.
Yeah.
And nobody would lend him any money.
No, got it.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I mean,
The
we
thing is,
could.
I don't really know where to look for the Acer. I haven't really found any information. I know we could probably go to maybe Doton Abbey or
The
Citadel.
Tortown.
Town.
The Elven City.
Yeah.
That.
I don't know who might have anything. I know there was a mention of the City of Brass somewhere, but I don't know if that was just lore.
City of Brass. I thought that was.
City of Brass is up on the plane of elemental fire.
Yeah.
That's their home place. That's why I just wrote City of Brass. I didn't know what it meant.
Yes. Yep.
And that they're probably somewhere hot.
Well, Wildfire. Yeah, Chad says Wildfire did burn his parents to death, but
Yeah, but he got that was before the game started. He got closure for that shit.
Yeah.
well, he found out what happened, and then he got closure.
Yeah.
We made amends.
Oh, that's fair.
We got high together for like a whole week at Oz and
Yeah.
Wentworth, probably.
Fishing.
Yeah.
No, we were hanging out with Captain Fenwick,
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
who also hates the fucking festival.
Yeah, that's right. But his friend, who got injured in the war,
Mhm.
they're in a fight.
We can always go help out the werebears against the Wendigo.
Well, that's true.
This
That's
is
still
like they
going
have
on up
something
there.
going on.
Yeah, I mean,
We can
Has anybody
go
ever
back
been
down to the
to
Valeguard,
any
see
of
if
the other
anything's
major
happening.
cities?
I have not been any.
Is there?
I don't think
is
so.
that the map?
No,
No,
that's
that's
here.
Where's our map?
I'll get you one of the smaller ones.
We've been to there, but we haven't been to like, we just totally skipped like Borrelia.
Yeah.
It's true. We've never been to Aurelia.
Or
We really check out the Fort Citadel when we were there.
There's the great wyvern, right?
Oh yeah.
Elder wyvern.
Oh, that's snoring. We'll get there.
That's,
Hang on. One of these is the map.
So many people have tried that.
Damn it.
Mm,
It's got to be this one.
so many maps.
Well, a lot of them are duplicates of the same map because they printed them wrong. Hey!
Well, the Wendigos are close.
Wendigos are the closest.
The Wendigos are the closest.
I'm down for that. Those
Yeah,
are
we
my
got-
peoples.
For Sapperton.
Yeah, we haven't been to Varelia. We haven't been to Trailburg.
What do we got at Trailberg?
So, yeah, I'll take a look at the map.
Giant Hope, the Heart Hills. Have we been to the Heart Hills?
No, you haven't. You came down over here.
Right.
To go
Okay.
to Westwick. So you guys haven't been to Concord or anywhere in the
The
Bowlands.
Knollwood.
You haven't been up there.
We haven't been up here.
You guys did go to Rufford and Sapperton. Those are those little towns where you guys
Mhm.
dealt with the little gem with the people made of
Okay.
bugs.
Yeah.
Stop pinching Ted's nipple.
Patrick.
Let's go for the head.
You were right on his nipple instead.
Trombe's the horse
Horse
town.
town.
Oh, that's the horse town. Okay. Fell since the drunk town.
Trombe,
Watchpoint
everybody likes
Serenity we
Trombe.
haven't been to.
You have not.
Yeah, so
You guys
basically
have
the
been
upper
to
north corner.
You've been to Kingsdale. You've been to Dethere.
And we haven't been to any of the other
You guys
continents.
haven't been down here. I can tell if you guys listen. Anybody can ask me any questions about any of the other towns or places, and I can give you. Now that you're looking at the map, I can have you guys make some checks and maybe see what you know about the locations if you're
Is
curious.
this a people place?
Is this I'm sorry. Could you maybe illustrate for the people on the internet? Give me a little bit more.
Well, it's a bunch of islands with a bunch of volcanoes on it,
Correct.
and there's a town, presumably
The Axle?
the Axle. But I'm curious if that's like a people place or if that's like,
It's like a people.
or if it's like.
Please, no. I really want you to explain this
No,
for me.
because it doesn't look that very inhabitable. So I don't know if it's like.
You can make me a history
I don't
check.
know.
Town. That's the word she's looking for. Is it a town?
Yeah,
Is it a people place?
Like if a group of people
Like the people live there.
work
What kind
together,
of check am I doing?
five.
It's history. Okay.
Oh no. Oh no.
Can I also make a history check?
Sure.
10.
Yeah.
Oh, my history checks are so much better now.
Yeah, they should be better by
I
at
rolled
least
a
3 or 4.
five.
No.
Wow.
My history is
wow.
actually really good. I just rolled like that.
Wow. Okay. What did you want to know about, Jake?
I would like to know about the what is it? The Ash Archipelago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is a series of active volcanoes. It's very hot there. The Axle is a area kind of in the midst of 3 of them. It is basically a long sort of cylindrical chunk, for lack of a better term, of obsidian that kind of runs between all of them to come to a center point. And yeah, apparently some people do live there on top of this thing.
All right, and would that be some place where I think Azer would be likely to settle?
I mean,
'Cause I understand them as an underground race, similar to dwarves.
potentially in the volcano itself, since they are immune to fire.
Okay.
Oh, me too.
And that,
Fun fact.
Yeah. Sure, but like what?
Not now, but like.
No, but I mean, even long term, if we're supposed to wipe out the Acer, and the Acer live in volcanoes, how are the 3 of us gonna help?
oh, maybe
Fair.
create water.
What?
What if we
Maybe
just
create water.
turn
Okay.
them all rock?
What? Are we gonna swim?
Cool volcano down. It was a joke.
It's too smart for your blood.
Sorry, man, I'm confused. Usually, when you say stuff like that, it's sincere.
Oh no, that was totally sarcasm.
Couldn't tell. Sorry.
I'll have to work on it.
That's-
It's just my throat's just a little parched. I think maybe.
Oh, here, have a drink.
Sure.
Oh, thank you.
No problem.
All right, so we know a little bit more about the Ashbourne Archipelago there and the Axle in the middle there. Did you guys have any other questions about any other locations on this map that I may be able to provide you with
Now, the King of Vermelia makes magic shoes.
Yes.
God, that's the magic shoe place.
He does make magic shoes. The rumor, it's not really
Does
the
he make
rumor.
like magic ruby slippers that'll grant a wish?
Ooh.
You've never heard of that. The rumor is he was a cobbler, or at least he had cobbling
Knowledge.
proficiency, for lack of a better term.
He had the guild artisan background.
And had figured out a way to take that to the next level to make magical shoes. So that is like a major city. I'm just looking at here to see if there's anything. Was there any interest in any others? A couple other towns on some of the smaller maps that may go. Yeah, I don't know. One of the.
Old timeline.
Hmm.
When we were looking for Osler info, the two places were Tortel and the Doten Abbey. Those were the two that you kind of directed us to, right?
Yeah, there is also the other continent, Norin, which is where Brina was from.
Okay.
That they have the main city there has like a massive mage guild that is like super knowledgeable, but it's on a whole other continent.
Okay.
But yeah, they're just like a history mage guild. So like the Abbey has people who preserve knowledge in like a monk discipline-y type of way. This is like a similar thing, but it's all arcane casters who have that kind of a knowledge and would know more spellcasty stuff rather than martial discipline.
Cool.
Did you have any questions there, Patrick?
Just thinking about the Clower, and I think it's Wispdale.
Yeah, so the Clower is a magical tower in kind of the lower half of the continent. Supposedly built by an ancient, powerful wizard. For what purpose, nobody knows. And it's supposedly, from what people say, everyone who's ever gone inside it has always described the situation as completely different. Like one person will tell you one room is, they went into the front door and it was like this. And somebody else will tell you it and it's a completely different scenario. Some people talk about entering into it and then they're underwater. Some people talk about going into it and they're outside in a forest. Some people are deep underground. Some people are just in what looks like a tower. But nobody has ever made pretty much the description that where they've been is the same place. So some sort of very powerful magical tower. Also, because of the power and the magic in it, there is no treasures untold can be found within it if you're willing to take the trip and the risk of, whatever's inside. So the purpose, who created it and why, no one really knows. So Wispdale, on the other island there, that is a relatively large town on that small, the islet of Danmar on the corner. And it is an interesting town. So it is it's strange because there is a festival that, for lack of a better term, is like Halloween in the greater world. And Jake and Pat, you guys both know because this is the town that you guys played that one shot in, where every month, like there is like Halloween kind of celebrated across the world towards the end of what would be October. They celebrate that every month in that town. So every month has a Halloween. And you guys, actually, the one shot you guys played where people were trying to do crazy stuff with the masks and everything, that's that town. So there is magic there and all sorts of...
Oh, there's a nice evil cleric there.
There is a nice evil cleric there. So that is that's another option for you. Again, you do have several other continents potentially that you could visit if you wanted. And then there are several other places here. And again, I think on one of these maps, this one, it's two maps of the same location. Here, this one. The map of the forest. There's a couple other locations on there when you get in a little closer.
Oh.
Broskin? The ruins. Oh, what are the ruins of Jorf?
Jorf. Jorf, you can make me a
Fold, please.
history check.
Well, this is a fancy one.
Yeah, I had.
Plus
They were
tree.
supposed to all be printed on
Lucky.
that, and that's why I got these. It was an interim because they kept screwing up my order.
Would you say 3?
August tree.
27.
So the ruins of Jorf is a location. It was originally similar to some of the other locations where it was at one point a vast repository for lore of the world, and it contained things that seemingly no one should have been around to know. You know, like the kind of issue that a lot of people run into when you start digging into real world religions is like who wrote the book,
Yeah.
because if no one was there and writing it, how did it come into be? So is it fiction or not? So the Jorf, when it was not ruins and was just Jorf, it was at a repository, supposedly people say created by gods of knowledge to track and store all of the history of the world and
Okay.
where things came into be, things that no one was there to witness, was all housed there. And at one point in the past, there was a war that was more on the divine side, and there was lesser races involved. But the crux of it was this is stuff that people shouldn't be able to know because there's a reason why they weren't there to experience it. And the creator of Jorf said, well, this is things that should be shared with all for the education of the world. And other gods said, we should keep some things to ourselves. So that led to a great war, and it was destroyed. So it is a kind of a rocky ruin of what was once like a great library temple. So think like the desert library in Avatar,
Okay.
but rather than sinking below the sands, it just got destroyed.
Okay. Cool.
My vote. Let's go help the werebears.
All right.
Alright, let's
Yeah.
go help Werebears.
Honestly, it'll be nice to do some
Normal adventure.
normal. We'll just pick a quest and kill some shit.
Yeah. I'm on board.
Yeah, hopefully just help a group of deserving werebears.
All right.
Yep.
Cool. Let's. I wait for Nibbles and then head out.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right, so you guys are gonna have like the better part of the rest of today to yourselves before Nibble will come back. Nibbles will be back in the morning.
Okay.
Anything you guys want to do?
I'm gonna spend the day continuing to craft a poison.
Okay.
So this is 2 work days I'm getting in on this poison.
Okay. Anybody else?
Oz.
Yeah.
Can memory be unmodified?
I don't know. Let me use my brain to find out.
Oh, okay. Or ask your dad. Pretty smart guy.
I mean, well, give me a second. Let me consult the player's handbook.
Ah, yes.
I'll get back to you.
That repository of knowledge.
Quite
Why don't you make me an Arcana check since you don't know how to cast that spell
fair.
and will never be able
Plus
to.
2. I want to talk to McKnuckles about corn and maybe some armor.
Plus 3.
Thanks.
Some claws.
So 21.
Okay.
See how much it would cost.
Okay. So, yeah, it does seem like it is possible to undo a modified memory.
Okay. I mean, it's possible.
Well, and that may be a very
Good thing to know.
new.
All right.
What do you? How? What's the process for unmodified memory?
Like, is it something we can do, or do we need to go find someone?
It's definitely nothing any of us can do.
Alright,
right.
what kind of magic person are we looking for then?
Powerful one.
Could your dad do it?
There was that wizard in Gouger.
The one who looks at clouds?
Yeah, man. He's
Cloud Wizard?
He's pretty
I
cool.
mean,
Yeah,
he has his own
but
tower.
he didn't do
He might
any
be
no,
powerful.
no. I think he's retired,
We
man.
could go to the Port Citadel. Those guys,
Yeah.
fix the lycanthropy.
That's
Yeah, but if we go there and say, "Hey, can you remove the modify memory on my rat because we need to steal the Warforged
No,
manual?"
you just stop
They
asking
might
Red.
say no.
You just stop asking
Yes,
Red.
okay.
Don't tell him about the other part.
Sure, and then when they ask, "Okay, why?"
Because we were trying to teach him magic and he was coming such a long way, and then some evil person messed up his memory and he lost all of his progress, and we just want to help our little buddy out.
That
It's
sounds like a good story.
it is a very
Anyway.
good. Yeah, sorry. What were you saying?
You could find somebody who's just like a little
They
less.
did a circle of truth on us last time.
Yeah, they did.
The
Court
Citadel. Also, like
Oh, yeah, that's right. Never
they
mind.
are genuine. They're a genuinely benevolent organization, and I don't want to trick them.
That's fine.
Yes. I'm just saying, maybe we can find somebody who has the ability to fix it without all the scruples of the Court Citadel.
Yeah, reasonable.
Someone less scrupulous.
Would your dad be able to do it?
I don't believe so.
Would he know someone?
Ted,
He knows so few people.
would Oz know how to do it? Know, like what spells or what he required?
I'm gonna say no because he can never learn how to cast that spell.
Okay.
He
But he knows that his dad could cast a spell, so he might be able to ask him.
possibly. He knows that it's
You can
doable.
always ask your
It's
dad.
removable.
Yeah, I could. But again, when he asks why,
And he's on his way to you guys right now.
yeah.
Oh, great. So,
Well, you're the
Yes,
one
sir.
with the criminal connections.
Yeah, the criminal connections were making me do this.
No, not that, but I'm saying, I don't know, in general, like, I feel like you know where to find
I do.
a wizardy person
Actually, no, I do.
who could
The criminal
help us.
contacts were trying to get me to do this. That's a brilliant idea, Wildfire. I don't know why I was so condescending, and I apologize.
you know
I
who could probably
appreciate
do
that.
it? Django.
Oh my god, Chongo could do it!
Ah, man.
Django
Where's
could do
Django these days? I heard he moved to Florida.
He did.
He
That
did.
sucks.
Yeah. I guess he's sweatier.
That's kind of hot, though.
Probably not. He's resistant to fire.
That's a good point. But Florida, the humidity.
That's
Mhm.
true.
Humidity is a very different monster from heat.
If you don't have anything else to do, I'm gonna go work on my cupcake recipe.
Oh,
Okay.
cool.
You can make me a cooking tools check.
Yeah.
+1.
+4.
Woo! 19 on the roll, plus 4 is 23, plus efficiency, which is, what am I? Am I good with intelligence now?
Sure. I mean, yeah, I guess so, right? It's less
I
of
feel
a,
like baking is definitely an intelligence.
yeah, it's less of a gut check now and more
Yeah.
of like a, I get it.
Yeah, alright, cool. So that is a 29 for these cupcakes.
But what do you want to make?
I want to make, oh god, there's so many. I want to make a black tea and bourbon cupcake with a black currant filling and buttercream.
Okay.
Interesting.
Sure. You make that. And it's
fun,
amazing.
it's great. You guys are very happy with the delicate balance of the separate flavors.
Mind blown.
This is the best thing that's happened to any of us in a while.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
I mean, other
it
than
is satisfying.
Rick's helmet.
Yeah. I think I could have done it one better.
Ah, well.
You know what? I don't think you could have. These seem perfect to me. I've never had a cupcake this good before.
That's true.
You know, once we figure out both of your problems, take a look at the two of you. I can see currently. Here's my stalwart yet silent companion next to me that I can't ever see. Maybe we should settle down and open up a business.
I would be on board.
Yeah. Sure.
Just
Good
a small
retirement
what
plan.
if.
Yeah, let's. It's a good dream to have, guys. It's a good dream to have.
I agree. All right, let's go kill some stuff.
So you're good then. You just want to get some stuff for Gorm.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you can make some armor or claws or bolts.
Didn't you already? No, you didn't.
No.
That was Tech Cooper.
Yeah.
He had the magic claws.
Yeah.
Aw.
You would also, by
I
that
miss Tech
notion,
Cooper.
know that in Westwick,
I miss Brain.
they were one of the people that had all of the expert stuff as far as dealing with pets.
Ooh, we could.
Oh, what do we get Gorm like headlight eyes?
Yeah.
You could.
Okay.
You can't see in the dark, so you could trick him out with all sorts of crazy materials. You did it to the Triceratops.
Yup.
He was
Gouge them eyeballs right out.
same.
I mean, he was exactly the same in every way.
But
except
they
he had
gouged
I
his
magic.
erase
eyeballs
him
out.
from an egg.
Jake, are you trying to show us your brain like through your nose?
No, I was trying to have headlight eyes.
Oh,
Oh.
I thought you were showcasing your nose.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have a nose too.
That is nose. Yup.
So that would probably, I mean, Crag can work on something, but they're a town with many dedicated resources to improving and increasing the overall strength and abilities of pets. So that would be the ideal place.
Fair.
And Gorm is sort of dinosaur-y in his own nature anyway, and they're an expert on that too.
Alright.
So that would be
That's
some-
a good idea, Craig. I'll go talk to them.
Yeah, you should. It's a better idea than talking to me.
Oh, I mean, we could go back to the. I mean, once we're done with the werebears and all that stuff. It's been a minute since we've been back to the Valeguard Tower.
Yeah.
Spire.
Yeah.
It's fair. Yeah.
Good idea.
Which would
Yeah.
put us near Westwick, so we could go get Gorm
Oh,
some
yeah.
some shit.
And that's just a hop, skip, and a jump away from Varelia, where we all get magic boots.
I don't know if the king just gives everyone magic boots. He makes magic boots. Those are different things.
That's true. We can try.
Sure.
Seems
Yeah.
like we ran into like 4 people in a row that got magic boots.
Exactly. They have to be pretty common if they're all coming out of Varelia.
I mean, I that's a good point. I don't have anything.
It also puts you close to the ruins of Jorf and Tortel if you wanted to go
Mm.
either of those locations. They're both down that direction.
Well, the Dredger's gotta be lonely at this point.
Sorrow's there.
And so is Harrison. New timeline.
And so is Harrison. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
And
not saying.
dinosaurs.
Yeah. Several dinosaurs.
Yeah.
I'm just saying he probably misses us.
Rob.
Probably. I assume most people do when we leave.
Yeah, he either miss us or are so glad we're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get a sending message, Rick, from Brother Drander, and he says,
Miss you guys.
"How's it going? Miss you guys."
That's out loud and we can all hear it, right?
No, this is via the spell. Brother Drander has learned 3rd level spells.
Nice.
Oh, good for him.
Oh, nice.
I'll respond. Things are going well. Oz has gotten into some legal troubles. Do you know how to reverse a modified memory? I would say more, but I don't have more words.
Yeah, it's very Shatnery.
Yeah.
He will respond and say, "No, it's beyond my capabilities currently, but I do have an idea of how it can be done. It's a greater restoration spell."
Thank you for the information, Brother Grinder. I hope everything is going well at the Spire. Send Sorrow and Harrison our best. Miss you.
And he will use his last 3rd level slot to send a 3rd sending spell back to you and say, It's going really great. We're pretty much done with repairs at this point. That ring has been super helpful. Also, Harrison and the dinosaurs put in a lot of work. But those orc raids seem to be increasing.
Mm.
We plan on coming back soon. But first, we have to deal with some Wendigos or some werebears. It's a long story, I'll tell you.
Mm.
And that's 25.
Okay. There you go. Rick just sits there like this for a little bit while you guys...
I'm working on poison. I don't give a shit.
Okay.
Wildfire. Crazy news. I guess they're almost done with the repairs at the tower, which is not the crazy news. But I guess the raids
Oh.
in the area is increasing, so that's something we should probably go check out sooner
Ooh.
rather than.
Alright, so we'll do the werebear thing, go back down, take care of some orcs, and see where that leads us.
Wait. I'm gonna say that Oz overheard this.
Sure.
'Cause I won't. Wait. Why don't we just go do that now?
The orc thing?
Yeah, if the orcs are threatening our home, the veil that we guard, I feel like that takes precedent over werebears that may or may not need us right. Like there was no specific werebear like call to arms. It was just kind of a general. I wonder if they need help. I
Oh.
feel like if Brother Drander says,
Right. That is exactly what. This is our responsibility.
yeah,
Werebears can help themselves. No one else can help the veil except for us.
To the Valeguard!
I think that's on.
And I activate my ring.
Oh. Do you wanna,
He's gone.
Okay. Do you want to do a spell? Because didn't we say that there was a fucking spell circle there that she knows?
Yes.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Smart
So we
Rick.
save our
You
rings.
can't do that for
Yeah.
a month, Rick.
Smart Rick is gone.
I can't hear him.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Actually, God fucking damn it, Rick. Okay.
Because you could have had Brother Drander recall you back.
Oh no, it wasn't even that. It was that like for the heist. That was my escape. That was my escape plan. We get in, we get the thing, we use our rings to get out. So now we gotta wait a month before we do it anyway. So
Yeah.
actually,
This works out.
I feel like he did it. Smart Rick.
Plan.
I feel like he did it on purpose.
Smart Rick definitely did it on purpose. We can finagle any smartness out of my actions.
The smartest thing would have been to sending Brother Drander and say, we'll come home and deal with that. Why don't you recall us via the ring's other abilities so we come home for free?
Well, Smart Rick clearly tells him that.
Well, it's too late now. Smart Rick already bamfed.
But he's there now.
Smart Rick believes that it's worth it.
Okay. Does he go... Do you guys... Well, it's like seconds. You're there now.
Yeah.
What do you guys do?
Can you do the spell circle?
Sure. Draw out the spells. Or
Okay, that takes like, I think, a minute or 10 minutes to do
Something
that.
something like that.
Do you... While you're there, while she's taking 10 minutes to draw, what do you do?
I'm gonna go pet dinosaurs
Oh, okay.
and talk to those guys when I see them.
Okay. All
When I
right.
see 'em.
Yeah, you see him.
So I'll walk up to Brother Drander and I will quick release my armor. Give him a big hug.
Wow. He's like excited and also surprised.
Oh,
He's like, oh, I didn't know you were gonna come home. I would have just recalled you with the rings, and you all could have been here at the same time.
it would have made a lot of sense. Unfortunately, I was just I told Ember, who we call Wildfire now.
Oh,
He's not.
all right.
Let's just let you know.
Sure,
That's
yeah.
her chosen name now. And she was like, well, we got to go deal with this immediately. She's very concerned about things like that. And
And he's just like, wow. Well, thank you so much. That's amazing.
yes, the orcs, it's not something that we can just sit around and let happen.
I couldn't agree more. Wow. This is what you guys. This is what we're here for. To guard the
This is
veil.
Exactly.
That's the whole name. This makes perfect sense. I get it. And
Yeah.
then at this point, this conversation continues about how great an idea this was, and thank you for listening. and you guys appear via the teleportation circle.
Ah, there you guys are. It took you so long.
I was drawing a teleportation circle so that we could use our rings for future emergencies. Rick.
Well, this is an emergency.
I mean, it
And I
was.
thought I didn't immediately you guys may have talked about it for a lot longer. I figured if I came immediately, I would force your hand. As today's leader, I thought it was the responsible thing to do.
Are you today's leader?
Yeah, I was abdicated. Which makes me permanent leader, I think.
No, that's not how that works.
That is not at all how that works.
That is not how that works.
No, because you said if everybody, which I was the first person to abdicate the leadership.
Well, no.
So
Here's
the other three of you have said that makes me permanent leader.
Rick,
You abdicated your
Rick.
permanent leadership after if you abdicate your permanent leadership and that comes to the next person in the cycle, that would be me. It could be permanent leader.
Hard no.
Well, okay, so that is less sensical than before you had the hat. Number one. Number two, I didn't abdicate. I didn't say I don't want to be in charge. I said I think it's a better idea if you're in charge. And I feel like there is a contextual subtle difference there. Because though you guys earlier just said I don't want to be leader today, not I think you should be leader instead.
I didn't say that I didn't want to be.
That is
leader.
entirely semantics.
Yes, but it is a semantical argument that does have impact on the context and intention behind the abdication.
I disagree.
Well, we'll have to agree to disagree.
I think that that's fair. I think we have more important things to argue about.
Yes. Okay, Brother Drander,
Hi.
give us all the info you can on these orc raids.
He's like, all right, well, I guess we should go and talk. I'll pull up some maps and we can have this discussion in more detail.
Cool. I'm gonna start making soup to give everybody temporary hit points.
Okay, that makes sense. So he will begin to tell you about that, which I will likely tell you about next week. But you guys do have access now. Well, you've had it, but you can go and visit it if you want. The tables in the vault that exists. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
But you can see, you can now access the hidden sub-basement floor that was not there earlier, as you have continued to spread the name and build good faith around the Valeguard. Whatever magics that provided, seemingly from Ilmater, as he's the kind of patron of the Valeguard here, as this whole thing who Brother Drander worships and you pseudo worship in a way, and Sorrow's a prophet of Ilmater, has granted you access to the sub-basement floor that has all of these tables in it, that have the mosaic similar to the mosaic that you got, that Rick appeared on in the rooftop.
Okay.
That teleportation mosaics. And yeah, they're all here.
Cool.
Sweet. And these are the tables that we can store and retrieve stuff on remotely.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Very nice.
11. There are 11 tables.
Alright.
Is that it?
I was gonna say, I think at this point I have sold all of the magic shit that I'm not currently using.
Well, you also remember that you can recall things from the table, but you can also send things to it.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, were you to acquire something you wanted to get rid of quickly, but that uses your teleportation.
Okay.
So you could say have a book, and then you send it away.
Yeah.
Or have a other book that you want to bring to you
Mm-hmm.
and bring it there.
Okay.
Say like a Warforged manual or a copy of it.
That was the illusion that I was working towards there. Yes.
Like just like a really good book.
Yeah, if you're just like, having a rough day. I hope I don't have to go home for a month.
Fair.
Book is How to Survive on a Desert Island.
There's a
Nice.
map of the sub-basement there.
Cool.
There's nothing. Those
okay.
weapons are just there.
Cool.
Pass it around. All right. Awesome work, Brother Grander.
And you guys
everyone.
go outside
Yeah.
and you do see that all of the buildings now have been complete.
Holy crow!
So you have the upgraded spire. There is now palisades and full defensible walls around the outside of the spire, as well as like a barracks and a stable and everything else that you guys had originally set out to build has all been completed. And you now have your dinosaurs there. Harrison has officially been inducted, as it were, so he is now a member wearing one of the rings.
Nice.
But you guys all have rings, so that's the four of you plus Harrison plus Brother Drander and Sorrow, and I think Brother Drander has one more ring. So that's, what is that, 9? Do I count that right?
4 of us, 3 of them.
Oh, okay, and 1 extra ring.
Yeah.
So 8.
8. So
Okay.
he doesn't have any more rings than that, and you know that there were 11 tables in the basement.
Oh.
So
So there's
if
some rings out there.
in theory, if it works the way you assume it, because you attune to a table.
Mhm.
Now, if you choose to attune to a different table, the attunement from the previous one goes away.
Yeah.
But if there's 11 tables, what would in theory mean there were at one point 11 rings.
Okay.
So, where those are and who has them, you
Yeah.
don't know.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, Brother Drander.
Mm.
In the morning, I think, and you guys can chime in if you disagree, that you should sending. Do you know anyone in the Court Citadel?
Yeah, he'll say he does. He's made a contact. He reached out, or they reached out after your visit there, in an
Okay.
attempt to spread the word in the name of the Valeguard that he thought it would be prudent once they reached out to keep open contact, since we're both trying to go for the same goal.
Okay, cool. I was gonna say I think you should send a message to the Citadel and let them know that our barracks is up and running in case they have people in the area who
Way
need
station.
lodgings.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
He says, yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. I could definitely reach out.
Yeah, they helped
I
us
do that.
out. I figured we could help them out.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're all out for the same thing, so
Mhm.
that makes sense to me.
Cool.
I have an idea if you guys want to hear it.
Yeah.
Alright, since we're done with the barracks, palisades, and stable, maybe we could add a forge, a workshop, a obstacle course, or training grounds, and a library.
That's a lot.
That is a lot, so maybe like one at a time, but
I think I forget. I have to look back at my original notes, which I think is in another notebook that had. I think there may have been a smith. I think that was one of the things you
Yeah,
guys were going to
there
add.
was.
So that would have been completed as well.
Would there be a library in the tower?
There is not currently. There are basically a lot, like as it stands right now, they've all been kind of sleeping in the barracks that they built. There are the 3 other floors that you have access to are basically just empty floors. There's nothing.
Oh.
They're there. There's nothing in them currently except for like fireplaces.
Yeah.
Cool.
Let me.
Alright, so we should try to figure out how to spruce up the place a little bit.
Yeah,
Now that
great.
the bones are there.
So you have the rooftop, which has your teleportation mosaics. Then you have level 2, level 3, level 1. So 3 levels that are all just basically empty rooms, fireplaces that connect to the main chimney, and now you have access to the basement that was not there originally, that has the vaults that you can teleport things away from.
Cool.
So that is that. I don't know if I've ever shown you guys this, but
Oh,
that's what it looks like, Jake.
Oh, badass.
yeah.
Feel it very French.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's definitely a conversation we can have. What are we gonna do with the 3 floors?
And I will get you the breakdown here. This is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 feet wide by 5, 10, 15, 20, 30. Yeah, so it's a 40 by 40 square.
Okay.
The staircase is a spiral staircase that takes up basically the middle 10
Mm-hmm.
in the middle, and that's where that goes. And then you've got the fireplace,
Cool.
They all are a mimic of that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Are there rooms or is it just?
But this is
one
a
big
floor.
room?
It comes up into this. It's currently open floor plan. If you wanted to build walls, you
Oh,
could.
okay.
It just looks like that. It's just an
Gotcha.
open
Yeah.
40 by 40 room.
I mean, the first floor should definitely be some kind of like meeting area, some like sitting area in case.
Dining area.
Well, no, I was gonna say like literally
Oh.
just like a meeting area in case it like for when we become an established thing, when people come to us for help.
Oh, alright.
Thank you. We'll have a like a sitting, a meeting area. What do you need? What's the like some place to host guests.
Okay.
I feel like that's what the bottom floor should be, and then the top floor should be more like more useful stuff.
So that is.
Yeah, like a war room.
That makes sense.
So you see that? There's your tower. You see that, Jake?
Yeah, I can see it.
There's the tower in the middle. You've got some farmland there. Kind of to the right of the tower is the smith, the little
Okay.
smithy. Then down the bottom you have the barracks and the stables. And this is the general idea of the land with the palisade around the outside to give you an idea of what your whole area looks like.
Nice, fantastic. I was thinking, like, at the top of the tower, I might install like a large like L that I could ring when food's ready. Like, say if I made tacos or something,
Okay.
it'd be the special taco bell.
I think that's a great idea.
That's
Perfect.
the roof.
I also think, I mean, something that I think would be cool is if we set up a continual flame on the roof. As kind of like
Oh yeah.
a never-ending light against the darkness.
That would be Ember's or Wildfire's job.
Get on it. And then I walk away.
Yeah,
While you guys are
I'm not
talking
gonna
about
back,
this,
but
Brother
it's-
Drander will tell you that if that's the thing we want to do, he can just prepare continual flame.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
I don't have a.
Well, we got Rick has to make a nice bowl for it. So it's gotta
Yeah,
be
no,
nice.
it's fine. He says I could prepare it, and then once I cast
yeah,
it,
it's
it's
a
there
nice
until it's
brass.
dispelled.
Ooh! We could go on a brass hunt. I've
Oh!
heard tell of a ship.
You know what? We can do it. You guys want to figure
I
out?
already used my ring teleportation. I can't.
Okay. We'll stay here.
I mean,
Unfortunately.
if you really want to, we can finish that storyline out. We can destroy Gouager a second time.
No, thank you.
We're good.
I mean, it's fine. We can finally see what would have happened if you were to fight him.
No, thank you.
No, it would have been a different party.
But then you would have to go. Then the dragon still attacks Bricken's homestead. Then you have to go deal with that again. Though you'd be better prepared in theory,
yeah.
higher level.
That's true.
What?
We got so lucky. Nah. Let's not do it again.
You,
Let's
you
not
don't
tempt that fate.
have Rev, and Rev's.
So-
But you have more accessible counterspell now.
True.
I promise I won't go swimming on.
And
the
you
water.
have a better harpoon.
That's a really good harpoon.
You guys are really just in a better spot overall to take down the dragon.
Yeah,
But
but we're
you-
not gonna.
You won't have Nivra and all of his. But you may have more townspeople,
Maybe.
or you might have about
Oh,
the
yeah,
same.
Deborah. We might be able to convince her again.
Well, that's true. But I guess you're right. Only one way to find out.
Let's not do it.
Okay.
Cool. So I
you.
finish making soup. Everybody gets 10 temporary hit points.
Okay.
Woo.
Yeah, so you guys finish. You catch up with Sorrow and Brother Drander, and Sorrow said things have been for her relatively light on the prophecy. She hasn't had too many visions or anything from Ilmater at the moment, but she's ready and she's been studying to better control her magics, or at least attempt to better control her magics. And Brother Drander has he's been obviously working at his faith and has such improved his overall abilities. His bond with Ilmater has grown stronger, and Harrison shows you how well he's trained the animals that are there.
Nice.
And he's just really stoked in general to just like he was doing good work in Westwick, but he feels like now he's really like a part of something
Aw.
better and greater than just like training dinosaurs for a farm.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
now
yeah. Well, that's because he is now.
he is. So he's excited.
Yeah.
And he's pumped to do the thing. Like whenever the thing needs to be done, he wants to go do it.
Harrison, are there any suggestions you have for what you think should be our next move?
And he's like, well, nope.
What about dinosaur mounts for us?
We could do, yeah, I think we could totally do that. Do you have a thought on what kind? And also, that's gonna take some time because I'm gonna have to go get them.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean,
okay.
you have done such a great job here.
Yeah,
my thought
totally.
process was like, let's keep that going.
Sure, I love that. That's my whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm
What do you
really
guys
good
think?
at that?
I like it.
I can't ride no.
I'd agree, and I'd say maybe you get one for yourself so that you could better.
Oh, he's like,
protect-
no, man, I got mine.
Okay.
He brought his dinosaurs. If you recall,
Great.
he had a Stegosaurus and a Dilophosaurus that he brought with him.
All right.
That were his personal
Cool.
pets. And his Dilophosaurus was one that had been outfitted and augmented to replace the natural venomous spitting gland that a Dilophosaurus has with one that spits like basically a lesser version of sovereign glue. So you can use it for making things. So like hold these
Like
two,
blue.
pretty much. But it's stronger than like your average. It's not like Elmer's glue. It's like a contact epoxy.
I'd
Okay.
suggest to him that he gets one that could potentially be battle ready.
He's like,
And
bro.
peace.
Bro, do you want to
Bro.
like should we try it? Do you want to
Bro.
go? Like I'm not like I have
no,
no
I
beef,
don't-
but
I
like
don't-
no, like
no,
I mean, do you
no.
want to
See what the
do
dinosaur
you want to
can
see
do?
what they can do? Like we can like I mean, I don't know. We've never really talked before
No,
to like
I
right
think-
now, but like
I think
I don't know, but I like my buds might mess you up, man. Like they're no joke.
They might.
I'm just saying. You want to find out?
I don't really want to find out that bad.
Oh, all right. Whatever.
How
Fair
big
enough.
are the tail spikes on the Stegosaurus?
They are like almost as big as you.
Oh, okay.
Oh wow.
Like if we had to put a damage die, like 6d6
It's
per
enough.
swing.
It's enough.
And his is it's a brown Stegosaurus with the plates are like a bright red. And the
Nice.
tail spikes are black, and the Dilophosaurus. If you can imagine like the Jurassic Park Dilophosaurus, but his is actually like an electric blue, and like the base color is like a burnt orange, but
Oh.
electric blue. So the fin is like
Yeah.
crazy.
That's awesome.
Crazy.
It's wild, wild, you know. But yeah, he's like, yeah, we could totally like if you have thoughts, and he's like, Rick, man, like you're spiky, but there are spiky dinosaurs.
Well, we got little Rick.
Well, no, that's true. You're right. But he's like, no, man, like a Stegosaurus with those plates, they don't feel those. Like that, it's a bone plate. Like if you set up something that you sit in the bone plates, that ain't gonna hurt him.
All right.
I mean, like, I don't know. I don't presume to understand all of what you do. Because I literally don't know. Like, I met you guys and you're like, come to this place. And I was like, this place is cool. I'm going to hang out here. And now I am.
Cool.
So I feel like,
I'm always concerned as a an incredibly spiky person
boy.
myself. I just would never want to hurt something, a creature, an animal, especially a mount, with my spikes. But if you believe that you could come up with a system where I would be able to not endanger the well-being of a mount at all, then I would be thrilled and very appreciative.
we could definitely try to figure something out. I mean, I like a challenge. This sounds
Alright,
like
cool.
a challenge.
Ah, shit, guys.
If there was a
Harrison, have you seen any orcs around?
Guys.
Not lately.
Sorry.
We left Spike outside of Carrick Fairn.
So,
That sounds
I
like
can go back.
so what happens is this day ends on that conversation. It comes to the next day at around like 9 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
You get a sending message, Rick, from Bibliosoft, and she's like, "Do y'all not want your rat?"
Yeah, we left without the rat. Guys, we gotta go back. Teleportation time. I draw a teleportation circle to go back.
All right, let's go.
And that's where we're going to end for tonight. Folks, thank you so much for coming along on this wild journey of teleportation circles and crazy nonsense.
More teleportation circles.
Teleporting rings.
Yep. We will be back next week, next Tuesday, for another episode of this. It'll be episode 72. And then the following week will be Evil Game number 26. I should have all of the other Evil games that have yet to come out be out by that time, so you should be able to catch up on everything easily enough. Once again, a big thank you to the folks at Hero Forge for sponsoring this stream. So thank you again. Still time left on the Hero Forge 2.0 Kickstarter to go and back it if you want. Again, the more backers and everything that happens there, the cooler stuff gets unlocked overall. They just recently got things like the ability to pose individual fingers and to do makeup and tattoos and battle scarring and blood stains and weapon effects, high-heeled shoes, all sorts of craziness. So more mounts, right? So you don't have to just be stuck on a wolf or a horse or a motorcycle. Now they're gonna have like bears and other cool stuff. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you next week.
Hey, Internet.
All right, Internet, we love you.
Mwah.